Grief doesn't knock. It breaks in like a thief and rearranges everything. But what happens when the dead start texting you? I was stirring tea in my cozy Lagos apartment when it happened. 3 years to the day since Daniel's casket was lowered into red Enugu soil. 3 years of pain, therapy, and nightmares that tasted like regret. My phone buzzed. I almost ignored it. Probably my friend Tasha whining about her latest date or another promo message from Airtel. But when I picked it up, my soul iced over. From Daniel. I see you still sleep on my side of the bed. I dropped the mug. It shattered into 100 pieces, just like my piece. Daniel was dead, buried, cremated, gone. I stumbled back, heart hammering as I opened the message thread. Same number, same saved contact, same picture. Him smiling at the beach, shirtless and alive. Claire, why did you let me die? No, 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 no. This was a sick joke. Someone was messing with me, but no one else had access to that number. I'd shut the line down myself. I remember crying in the MTN office, begging them to deactivate it. How could this be real? I dialed the number. It rang once, then silence. Then another message. He knows what you did. My chest seized. No one knew what happened that night except me and Daniel. Sleep was a luxury I hadn't afforded myself that night. I sat upright, eyes bloodshot, watching my phone like it would leap at me. Daniel was dead. I attended the funeral. I saw the coffin. I touched his lifeless hand one last time before they closed the lid. So how the hell was he texting me? At exactly 3 a.m., another message popped up. Do you still cry in the shower? I choked on my breath. That wasn't something even my closest friends knew. Crying in the shower was my secret, my hiding place. I did it just last night. My legs trembled as I stood and walked slowly to the bathroom mirror. My face looked like it had aged 10 years overnight. I grabbed a towel and splashed cold water on my face. Then I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. Someone was knocking. No, not knocking. Tapping against the bedroom window. I froze. My apartment was on the third floor. There was no balcony, no ledge. I tiptoed to the window, hands trembling. No, nothing. But then I saw it. A fingerprint. A fresh, foggy smudge. Right where the tap came from. Like someone had been watching. My phone buzzed again. He's not who you think he is. Look beneath the bed. My heart dropped. I had to make a choice. Call someone? Run? Scream? But curiosity burned hotter than fear. I grabbed my phone's flashlight, dropped to my knees, and slowly leaned toward the dark gap beneath the bed. Dust. Old slippers. A worn box. Nothing else. I exhaled in relief. Maybe I was losing it. Then I saw the box move. I yanked the box out with trembling fingers. It was heavy. Inside were things I hadn't seen in years. Daniel's old notebooks, some photos, a couple of souvenirs, and something I didn't recognize. A black envelope. No name, no seal, no return address. Inside, a folded note. If you marry again, you'll both burn. Who had put this under my bed, and when? My hands shook as I fumbled through the rest of the items. I found an old phone of Daniel's. Dead, dusty. I plugged it in. The screen lit up. One message. From a number I didn't recognize. Don't trust her. She's the reason I died. Who was her? And how did this end up in my apartment? Then it hit me. Tasha, my best friend. The one who comforted me most after Daniel died. The one who started getting a little too close. The one I caught once, staring at an old photo of us with tears in her eyes. Was she involved? Was she the one Daniel was warning me about? And more importantly, was Daniel really dead? I didn't sleep. Instead, I watched the sky change from pitch black to bruised orange, heart heavy with dread. The name in that message, "Don't trust her," echoed in my mind like a curse. Her. There were many women in my life, but only one who had stuck like glue since Daniel's death. Tasha. She helped me through every panic attack, helped pick my outfit for Daniel's funeral. She moved into my apartment for a month after I almost overdosed on sleeping pills. She even helped me pack up his things, said she couldn't stand seeing me suffer alone. Now I wondered if she was ever helping, or just watching. At 9 a.m., I called her. She picked on the first ring. "Hey, babe, you sound weird. Are you okay?" "I need to see you," I said. "Now. Urgent." "Okay. Um, come over?" "I just finished yoga." I didn't even bother changing out of my pajamas. I grabbed Daniel's old phone and the black envelope, stuffed them into my purse, and headed out. When I got there, her apartment smelled like lavender and guilt. Tasha opened the door, smiling, hair pulled back in a perfect bun, face glowing like nothing in the world was wrong. But her eyes, they weren't smiling. "You look like hell," she said, pulling me in for a hug. "You okay?" I pulled back immediately. "I got a text," I said. "From who?" "From Daniel." Her face stiffened for a millisecond, just long enough. "Claire," she whispered, "don't do this to yourself again." I handed her the phone. "I'm not doing anything to myself. He is." She scrolled. Her hand trembled, even though she tried to play it cool. "Okay, this is sick. Someone is messing with you. This number, this can't be real. I never told you someone slept on his side of the bed." She froze. "What?" The message said, "Someone's been sleeping in my side of the bed." "How would anyone know that?" She went silent, then said the worst thing imaginable. "Maybe, maybe you texted yourself. Grief does strange things, Claire." My blood boiled. I pulled out the black envelope and shoved it into her chest. "You recognize this?" She stared at it for too long. Way too long. Her hands twitched. Then she said, "You shouldn't have come here." Her voice shifted. Not loud, not angry, just cold. "You shouldn't have come here." I took a step back, but she didn't move. That's when I noticed it. Her yoga mat still rolled out, but there were two water bottles on the table. One half drunk, one untouched. "Are you expecting someone?" I asked, trying to keep my voice even. "Don't be dramatic, Claire." She moved to the kitchen, too casually, too smooth. I followed, but quietly opened my voice recorder app in my pocket and hit record. My instincts were screaming, and I wasn't about to ignore them again. "Why did you freeze when I mentioned the bed?" I asked. She paused by the kettle. "I didn't freeze. You did, and you flinched when I handed you that envelope." "Tasha, what did you do?" Now she turned to me fully, eyes narrowed. "You want answers? Fine." She took a deep breath and stepped closer. "Daniel was cheating on you." My chest throbbed. "What?" "He was, for months. You thought he was working late, remember? He wasn't. He was with someone else." I stared at her, trying to read between the lines. "And you knew?" I asked, barely whispering. "I was the other woman, Claire." The room spun, her voice echoed. "You were falling apart. I was the one picking up your pieces, and he promised me he was going to leave you." I backed away until my back hit the wall. "But he died, Claire, before he could choose, and guess what? You still got everything. The house, the sympathy, the story of being his one true love." Tears pricked my eyes. I didn't know whether they came from rage or heartbreak. You lied to me for 3 years. I saved you from the real truth. But now someone is trying to stir up the past. Maybe you're doing it to yourself, or maybe she turned away. Maybe Daniel really isn't at peace. I pulled the envelope out again. What about this? You put this under my bed? She laughed, cold and brittle. Claire, I haven't been to your apartment in over a year. But you, then her face dropped. Wait, the message said, look under the bed? Yes. Claire. Daniel said that to me once, years ago, after one of our fights. I blinked. What? I remember now. He stormed out, then texted me. Look under the bed. You'll find your peace there. It was some cheesy metaphor, I guess, but he said that exact line. We both stared at each other. Goosebumps crept over my arms. She wasn't lying. Not about that. My phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't from Daniel's number. It was an unknown contact. You're both liars, but one of you still has a secret. Claire, dig deeper. Tasha and I sat in silence, the message still glowing between us like a curse. You're both liars, but one of you still has a secret. Claire, dig deeper. It was from a new number. Not Daniel's. Not any I recognized. I stared at the screen, then read it again. Out loud. Dig deeper. Deeper into what? I've gone through his things. I've read the autopsy. I buried him, damn it. Tasha swallowed. For the first time, she looked afraid. What if someone's watching us right now? I looked up. Her apartment windows were wide open. I rushed to close the blinds and draw the curtains, heart pounding. This isn't just a prank, Tasha. Someone knows things they shouldn't. Or someone was there, Claire. That night he died. My hands froze. That night, the argument, the crash. Daniel had stormed out after we fought about Tasha, ironically. I had confronted him about the late nights, and he snapped. I never saw him again. Just a phone call from the hospital. Car accident. Immediate death. I had blamed myself for years. Until now. What are you not telling me, Tasha? She went quiet. Nothing. I swear. I didn't believe her. Then I remembered. The old phone I charged from under the bed. The one with the message. She's the reason I died. I grabbed it from my purse and opened the gallery. There were 3 videos, all time-stamped just hours before his death. I tapped the first one. It was Daniel, sitting in a car, breathing heavily. If anything happens to me, this message is for Claire, or for whoever finds it first. My throat dried. I think someone's following me, and I think Tasha's not who she says she is. I paused the video. Tasha, why is he saying this? I screamed. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. I don't know. He never. I hit play again. I found something in her drawer, something that links her to someone named Pastor Roy, something dangerous. She's not just my mistress. She's part of something. I stopped the video again. Pastor Roy? That name stabbed me like ice. Pastor Roy was Daniel's childhood mentor. He led the massive church Daniel once attended, respected, untouchable. He also vanished a week after Daniel's funeral. And no one heard from him again. My phone buzzed once more. Claire, find Roy. He's the key. Tasha backed away from me slowly. Claire, I can explain, but I wasn't listening anymore. Because I suddenly remembered something Daniel once whispered to me at 3 a.m., years ago when he thought I was asleep. If I ever die before my time, it won't be an accident. I stormed out of Tasha's apartment, clutching Daniel's phone, like it was the only proof I had left that I wasn't going insane. She screamed behind me, something about not understanding, about being trapped, but it was all noise now. I didn't need her apologies. I needed Pastor Roy. I got into my car, locked the doors, and began searching through my emails, my old messages, even Daniel's saved sermons, anything to trace Roy. That's when I remembered Daniel once gave me an old flash drive, back when we were still dating. He'd said, "Keep this. If something ever happens to me, give it to no one else but Claire." I never opened it, not once. I had tossed it in a box of old electronics under the stairs. I turned my car around, heart racing. Within 15 minutes, I was tearing through dusty cardboard boxes in my storage closet. And there it was. Tiny, silver, labeled with a red sticker, R. I plugged it into my laptop. Dozens of hidden files appeared. Most were video and document folders, encrypted. But one file opened easily. It was a video. Daniel, again, looking terrified. He whispered, "If you're watching this, Claire, you were right not to trust them." My stomach clenched. Tasha and Roy. They're part of a group, a cult, but they hide it behind religion, money laundering, coercion, blackmail. I found out by accident, snooping through her messages one night. I saw videos, saw what they did to those who threatened to leave. My breath left my lungs. I wanted out. I told Tasha. The next day, my car's brakes stopped working. "You remember that scare?" I did. It was 2 months before the fatal crash. I thought it was coincidence. "Claire, if something happens to me, don't trust the police. Don't go to Roy's church. Just find a woman named Juliet Okoro. She left the cult. She's the only one who'll talk. She's in hiding. But she knows everything." The video ended there. My hands were trembling so badly I could barely type, barely breathe. I started searching. Juliet Okoro. Nothing. Not on Facebook, not on Google, not on LinkedIn. She was off the grid. Until a comment thread on a conspiracy forum. They found Pastor Roy's girl in Abakaliki, said she was the one that left the fold. Last seen near Eza South. That was all I needed. I booked a one-way ticket. That night, before I could leave, another message popped up on my phone. From Daniel's number. "Claire, you're almost there, but someone else is watching now. Be careful who you sit beside." The flight to Elbow Neal State was short, but felt eternal. I didn't pack much, just the essentials, the flash drive, Daniel's phones, my pepper spray, and a tiny Bible Daniel once gave me, now cracked at the spine. As the plane landed, a message lit up my screen. "Unknown number. She won't trust you. They told her you'd come to finish what Daniel started." My blood chilled. I looked around the cabin. Was someone on this flight watching me? At the airport, I flagged a cab and gave the driver the address I had cobbled together from forum clues. A rundown missionary compound outside Eza South. "You sure you want to go that place?" the driver asked, eyeing me through the mirror. "I'm sure." He didn't ask further. Just drove, quietly. The roads narrowed as we got deeper into rural territory. Palm trees waved lazily in the heat. Crickets screamed from the bushes. The silence was alive. We pulled up to a compound surrounded by cracked cement walls and rusted gates. A young man came to the gate with suspicion in his eyes. "You they find who?" "I'm looking for Juliet Okoro." He looked me up and down, then shouted something in Igbo. A frail but fierce-looking woman appeared in the distance, her gray scarf tied tightly. "Who are you?" she asked, stepping forward with a limp. "Claire. Claire Thompson. Daniel. Daniel Thompson was my husband." Her eyes flared. "You need to leave. Please. I saw the video, the files. I know about the fold. I know what Roy and Tasha did. Daniel tried to warn me. Juliet's body stiffened. She turned around and disappeared inside. The gate stayed open. I followed. Inside, the compound smelled like candle wax and damp stone. She led me into a small room, no bigger than a closet. She sat. I stood. They tried to kill me, Juliet whispered. Twice. The first time, they made it look like an accident. The second time, they sent a deliverance team to my house. I've been in hiding for 4 years. Her hands trembled as she poured tea. Pastor Roy is not a man. He's a mask. The real Roy is a snake. The Fold, it's a network. Politicians, preachers, even police. Your husband tried to expose them. Tears ran freely down her face. They told me if I ever talked again, they'd bury me in parts. Daniel was the last person who cared enough to listen. I pulled out the flash drive. She recoiled. Where did you get that? Daniel gave it to me. She looked at me for a long time, as if trying to see his ghost behind my eyes. Then she nodded. There's one place they'll never check. If we're going to blow this open, we have to go there first. Oh, where? She leaned forward and whispered 2 words. Roy's shrine. Just then, my phone vibrated again. Unknown number. Turn around, Claire. Your past just walked in. I turned toward the doorway and gasped. Tasha. Tasha stood at the doorway like a shadow summoned by secrets. Juliet froze, her face drained of blood. How did she find us? She whispered. But I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. Tasha, here? In Eza South? She wore a flowing black gown and dark shades despite the cloudy sky outside. Her hair was wrapped tightly. Her eyes were hidden, but the tension in her jaw spoke volumes. You weren't supposed to bring her here, Claire, Tasha said softly, stepping inside. The door shut behind her. Juliet didn't bring me. I came on my own, I snapped, finally finding my voice. So brave, she said mockingly. Just like Daniel, always pushing too far. Juliet backed away, her hand trembling toward the wall, where an old machete hung above a wooden cross. Don't, Tasha said, not even looking. If I wanted to hurt either of you, I would have done it at the gate. I stepped between them. Why are you here? Tasha sighed and removed her glasses. Her eyes were red. Not from tears, from fury. Because you're about to get yourself killed, Claire, and I don't want to see that happen. I laughed bitterly. Now you care? Daniel was a fool, she said, eyes flaring. He underestimated how deep the Fold runs, and now you're doing the same. Juliet spoke for the first time. You were part of it, Tasha. You helped them. I was born into it, Tasha snapped. You don't walk away from blood oaths, Juliet. You run, you hide, and you never look back. There was a pause. Then I asked the one question that had haunted me since Daniel's message. Did you kill him? The room went still. Tasha's jaw clenched. No, but I knew who did. My knees weakened. The brakes, the accident. It wasn't an accident. It was a message. Daniel was warned. He crossed the line. They sabotaged his car. I tried to stop them, Claire. I even warned him, but he wouldn't listen. Tears burned in my eyes. Juliet stepped forward. Why are you telling us now? Tasha glanced at the window. Because they know you're here, all of you, and they're coming. Tonight. Juliet gasped. How? How soon? Enough time to run, if you leave now. But I shook my head. No. Both women turned to me. I'm done running. They took Daniel. They tried to bury the truth, but now they'll hear it. Juliet pulled me aside. Claire, there's one more file. On the flash drive. I didn't tell you. Daniel recorded something. A confession. From Pastor Roy himself. My eyes widened. But it's encrypted. We need a laptop to open it. And a code. A 4-word phrase Daniel used to always say. My heart dropped. I think I know it, I whispered. It was on the first message he ever sent me. Back when we were dating. I reached into my journal and flipped to the sticky note I had kept all these years. It read, Truth never stays buried. Tasha bolted the door shut. Juliet lit 2 dusty lanterns and handed me the flash drive. We were locked inside a crumbling prayer room in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by enemies we couldn't see, and haunted by a truth that could change everything. My hands trembled as I plugged the flash drive into Juliet's ancient laptop. The screen blinked. The drive blinked. Password? Juliet asked. I whispered, Truth never stays buried. Click. Access granted. A single file appeared on the screen. Confession_final.mp4. I clicked it. The screen flickered, and then the video played. Pastor Roy, seated in a dark room, shirt unbuttoned, sweat dripping. His collar hung beside him like a snake that had shed its skin. He looked straight into the camera. I know what I've done, and I know there's no redemption. Juliet gasped. Tasha turned pale. The fold began as protection, a secret society to shield pastors and politicians from scandal. But it grew darker. We began using secrets to control people. We blackmailed judges, staged miracles, orchestrated disappearances. My mouth dried. Daniel found out. He saw the footage of our initiations, of the blood vows. He begged me to dismantle it all, said the truth was worth dying for. Roy looked down, then up again. So I made a choice. I ordered his car sabotaged. I didn't want to, but I had to protect the rest. Juliet collapsed into a chair. He knew, she whispered. He always knew. This video is my penance, Roy said, voice cracking. If this ever gets out, they'll erase me. But I want the truth to live, even if I don't. He leaned close to the camera. To the woman who watches this, I'm sorry. Your husband was braver than I ever was. The video ended. Silence. Then a loud bang at the compound gate. Juliet jumped. Tasha grabbed my arm. They're here. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Run, Claire, but leave the truth behind. I copied the video to a secure cloud folder and emailed it to myself twice. We gathered the laptop, the flash drive, our things. Another bang, this time closer. Back door, Juliet whispered. We rushed out the kitchen, through the bush behind the house. Twigs snapped, dogs barked, headlights flashed in the distance. We didn't stop running for a mile. We spent the night in a tiny mud hut offered by a local woman Juliet trusted. As I lay on the hard bed, staring into darkness, one thought echoed. Daniel had died for this truth. And now I would live for it. Morning crept in like a ghost, quiet but watchful. I sat on the floor of the tiny hut, laptop on my lap, hotspot from Tasha's phone tethered. The confession video was ready. All it needed was one click. Juliet paced nervously while Tasha stood guard by the only window. You post that, Tasha said quietly. They'll know where you are in minutes. I know, I said, but the world deserves the truth. Juliet knelt beside me. Daniel believed in justice. Let's finish what he started. I opened YouTube, set the video to unlisted, and copied the link. Then I wrote a message. To anyone who ever trusted Pastor Roy, watch this. My husband died for this. Don't let him be forgotten. I hit upload. The progress bar crawled. 7%, 22%, 45%. Then the screen blinked. Connection lost. What happened? I gasped. Tasha checked her phone. They've cut the tower, she whispered. They're here. My heart pounded. The file's backed up. We just need signal. Juliet's eyes lit up. There's a school on the hill 2 villages away. They have satellite Wi-Fi. If we get there, we can upload it again. It'll go everywhere. Then let's move, I said, snapping the laptop shut. We wrapped the laptop in plastic, stuffed it in my backpack, and slipped out the back of the hut. The journey to the school was 2 hours on foot, through back roads, dusty trails, and local farms. We barely spoke, only moved. Halfway there, my phone buzzed again. One unknown number. I warned you, Claire. Now watch who pays for your truth. Attached was a photo of Juliet's sister, tied to a chair, cut on her temple. Juliet stopped walking, froze, her mouth open, but no sound came out. No, not her. They've got her, Tasha muttered. We don't stop, I said. This is exactly what they want. Fear, silence. Juliet stared at the photo again, then nodded through tears. She'd want me to finish it. We climbed the hill, reached the school. A teacher recognized Juliet, ushered us in. I connected the laptop. Upload resumed. 95%, 99%, 100%. The video went live. My heart felt like it exploded in my chest. Tasha hugged me. Juliet fell to her knees. Within minutes, comments flooded in. What is this? Is this real? That's Pastor Roy? OMG, I remember Daniel. I thought it was an accident. They need to pay. Then messages from reporters, bloggers, anonymous tips, victims, survivors. The fold had been exposed. I looked at the sky, whispered, He did it, Daniel. You did it. But just as peace crept in, boom. Uh-oh, a gunshot. The window shattered. People screamed. Juliet ducked. I grabbed the laptop. Tasha ran for the door but stopped when a figure appeared. A tall man. Black shades. White robe. Pastor Roy. He stepped into the room like a ghost walking through flame. Pastor Roy. But not the man from the videos. This version looked unhinged. His robe was stained at the cuffs. His hands twitched slightly. And his eyes, oh, his eyes, like a man who'd come to kill God himself. Claire, he said, smiling, we meet? Finally. Juliet screamed, pulling me back behind a desk. Tasha stood her ground, arms folded. Oh, you're not welcome here, Roy. I was never welcome anywhere, he said. Not in the truth, not in the lies. So I made my own path. He pulled out a gun and placed it on the desk gently, like an offering. Where's the drive? He asked. I swallowed hard. It's over. Is it? He chuckled. Do you think a video will take down the fold? You don't even know how deep it goes. Tasha stepped forward. Deeper than murder? Roy tilted his head. Murder is a tool. Daniel was a casualty of disobedience. Juliet's voice cracked. He was your friend. And yet here we are. I clenched my fists. The world knows now. The fold can't hide. The world forgets, he snapped. The world forgives too easily. In 2 weeks, your truth will be buried under gossip blogs and celebrity weddings. He lifted the gun. Unless I erase you right now. Tasha stepped between us. You'll have to shoot through me. Roy sighed. Don't tempt me. You've lost already, I said, rising slowly. Even if you kill us, the truth lives. Truth doesn't live, he hissed. It burns. He pointed the gun. Bang! Tasha screamed. But the bullet hit the wall behind me. In the panic, Juliet lunged forward and slammed a fire extinguisher into Roy's side. He screamed, stumbled. Tasha tackled him to the ground, the gun skidding across the floor. I grabbed it, shaking, pointed it at him. Daniel begged you. He trusted you. And you sold your soul. Roy chuckled, blood on his lip. He died trying to fight something eternal. Then let me end it here. My finger curled around the trigger. Claire, no, Juliet whispered, holding my arm. Don't let him make you like him. The gun trembled in my hands. A beat. Then I dropped it. Police sirens howled outside. Tasha stood panting. It's over. Roy looked up at us, defeated. No, it's just beginning. That evening, the news broke. Pastor Roy arrested in secret cult scandal. The video went viral. 3 more members of the fold were arrested. Dozens of victims came forward. Justice began, even if slowly. As for me, I visited Daniel's grave the next morning. The sun was rising, golden and honest. I knelt and whispered, your death wasn't in vain. I kept my promise. The truth is out, and I'm free. Weeks had passed. The headlines faded. The world moved on, but I hadn't. I still woke in the middle of the night, reaching for a man whose body I never got to bury properly. Still felt the echo of Daniel's heartbeat when I stood in the kitchen alone. But I was healing. Slowly. Juliet had moved in with her sister, who miraculously survived the Fold's captivity. Tasha had gone public with her involvement in the case and was now working with a justice initiative for women. And me? I was finally moving out of our old apartment. The last box was Daniel's old Bible. I almost didn't open it, but something tugged at me, a whisper, a memory. Inside, tucked between the Psalms and Proverbs, was a letter, handwritten, for Claire. If I don't make it. My breath caught. I sat down on the floor and opened it. My love, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it out, and I'm sorry. But I need you to know something. Every risk I took, every secret I uncovered, it was all to protect you. I knew what the Fold was. I knew what Roy was becoming. But I didn't think they'd go that far. Still, I wouldn't change anything, because loving you was the one true thing in my life. Claire, promise me, don't let the darkness win. Shine, even when it hurts. And when it's all over, live, really live. Laugh again. Love again. You're stronger than the lies, stronger than the fear. You are the truth. Forever yours. Daniel. I broke. Tears poured like rain in dry season. But they were healing tears. Not of grief, but of release. Daniel may have died for the truth, but I would live to carry it forward. My name is Claire. My husband died chasing truth, and I'm here to make sure no one else has to. Where in the world are you listening to my story from? Please like, subscribe, and share.